Hi, I thought I would share with you the presentation that I gave at our last meeting at the photography group, Northampton Photography Group. It was on Ursula Schultz-Dornburg, and I discovered her when I was in Paris recently, and she had an exhibit at the Maison Européenne de la photographie in France. So that was my first time there. The Maison Européenne de la photographie, MEP, is located in the Marais, which is the oldest part of Paris, and in a beautiful, really, really beautiful building. Um, and I took some photos of the building just to share the ambiance that you discover these photographs in. So this um, was the basement. You start the visit really in the basement. That's where the locker room or the coat room is, and they have a little shop, and you can also have a drink there if you want. But you definitely have these incredibly heavy, beautiful stone that have been renovated beautifully. And what was also very nice was to see how well the photographs were presented. Very neutral background, the walls were gray, the lighting was really nice. So it was really a fantastic experience. That's the little store is right there, and then you can sit here. Again, very, very elegant setting for photographs. I really, really thought the ambiance was perfect for having a great experience there. Um, so Ursula Schultz-Dornburg is German. She still lives in Dusseldorf and was born in Berlin. And the exhibit that I saw, it was called The Land in Between. Ursula traveled Middle East extensively and has been taking photos of several trips that she took there. And the ones that I'm showing in this particular introduction, very short introduction on her work, were photos taken in Armenia. And so the exhibit represents photos taken from 1980 to 2012. And I've taken two little bits of information from the book that I think kind of captured nicely Ursula's work. Since the early 80s, Ursula has sought out and explored places of transit, border zones, cult sites, and remains of past civilizations in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. And the land in between presents 13 series of photographs. And that is something that is interesting. She discovers something and then explores it in great depth. Sometimes just coming back to the same place at different times of the day, like she did with a sun going through a very narrow window in a convent. Or like here, the photos that I've taken are from a series on bus stops. So that's Ursula, and the photos that she took in Armenia were taken between 1997 and 2011. So here's the first one of the series. This is a woman sitting at the bus stop, and the way she describes how she started this series is that she was going to a convent somewhere in the mountains, and then on the way, with her team in a car, discovered this a bus stop with people waiting there, and decided to take a photo of it. And what is interesting, what struck me is that the land is absolutely barren, flat. She doesn't seem to like clouds or cloudy skies. They're always very milky white. And sometimes the cloud kind of the sky disappears with the white of the paper. Um, apparently in Armenia, while they were under Russian occupation, they couldn't build churches, but they would somehow get around it by building bus stops with an architecture that would sometimes represent typical church architecture. Two more examples taken from the book, and I've tried to keep the organization the organization of the exhibit and also in the book here. Interesting that she's put these two together with three kind of arches, and again very interesting whitish cloud and kind of a hazy background. And that's the book. I bought the book. It's pretty thick. But it's an interesting choice. She just decided to use the portrait mode of the page rather than the landscape mode to show her photos. Um, Two more examples. One, I would say, fairly Russian inspired. And here again, this very interesting um, wrought iron roof with this elegantly dressed woman. And that's something that she mentions in the book, is that they would just go by these bus stops and would find usually women extremely well dressed, as if they were going to the opera, she mentions. And sometimes they would stop, to take photos, ask for permission, of course. And if the person was going in the same direction as Ursula and her team were going, they would take that person along with the car and give that person a ride. And a few times, she says, they were treated to coffee or tea at the destination, at that person's destinations. And here is another really interesting photo of this woman and her probably little girl waiting, again dressed really elegantly here for going, we're not sure where. White sky again. Here, this bus stop that looks like trees, and this woman nicely dressed as well. And it looks like it's raining. Um, and similar architecture to this very elegantly dressed woman who's very much aware that somebody's taking her photo, whereas these two guys are just sitting there. When I presented that to the group, Rob had a question about the sharpness of the mountains, and they're actually much sharper in the book. The phone, taking the photo with the phone, somehow I lost some of the resolution. However, the snow at the top and the white of the sky are very similar. So I lost some of the resolution, some of the sharpness there, but not necessarily the colors. So that's it. So these were gelatin silver prints, 17 by 13 inches, not huge, medium size. And that's the book that I brought back. Anybody in our group who's interested in borrowing it, I'm very happy to loan you the book. Just let me know. Oh, something that I wanted to show you as well before I stop this is that there's plenty of photos, and also from this exhibit, on the web, just looking for Ursula Schultz-Dornburg and looking into images. I can find a lot of images that I didn't present here, but were part of this. And the one, there's a whole series, let's see if I can get this one, whole series of photos that she's taken of this slit in the wall and light coming through at different points of the day, so with different angles. And this is a series, and she has maybe 20 different photos of that. She also has a series of these buildings. So you're going to be able to find, if you're interested, you're going to be able to find more on the web. So that was it. That was my presentation last time. Hope you enjoyed it.